Yes, yes, I think we're live now. Hello, hey everyone. Welcome to the webinar. I'm James, and we have Rachel Pelling with us today. Thanks for spending time with us today, and I hope you're gonna enjoy this webinar very, very much. So before we get started, I wanted to check in with you guys, just make sure we don't have any tech issues here. If you are watching right now, can you let us know where you're watching, and can you hear me and see us okay? Because we're broadcasting to multiple platforms right now, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you can just tap and comment, let us know, that would be great. So if we have any tech issues, we're gonna fix it now. And in the meantime, don't hesitate to introduce yourself. Introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're tuning in right now, and your background and why you're here, what you want to learn about the webinar from today. Yeah, we got people from YouTube Spain. Yes, can hear. Okay, thank you. We got people
Fantastic.
on from LinkedIn. Yeah, Oliver. Thanks, James and Rachel. We got
Yes.
quite a lot of people from Facebook as well. Hi, James.
Yeah.
Great, thank you guys. Yeah, please let us know where you're tuning in. At least let us know. I guess we're gonna get a lot of people from all over the place, right? All over the world, and we're very excited. Yeah. Okay. So Mara, everything perfect from
Good.
LinkedIn. Thank you. Thank you.
We have
Hungary.
Hungary,
Yeah.
Houston,
Houston.
Mara,
It's
UK,
good. It's good.
Milan,
Milan.
Sara, Buonasera. Amazing, amazing,
Good.
fantastic. Ingrid and
Yeah.
Dr.
You can
Mahmoud,
recognize a lot of names already, right, Rachel?
Tara.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. What a
Bob,
talent.
yes.
Awesome.
Monica,
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Monica. Yes, Monica here too. Yeah, thank you
yes.
guys for tuning in. And I know it's Monday. Personally, I don't like a lot of things on Monday. Just like got swamped by emails over the weekend. But I appreciate that you guys tuning in and watch this webinar live. Appreciate that very much. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So let's get started. So we're gonna do actually just talk to Rachel before the webinar. We have a kind of agenda, a very brief agenda to follow today. We're gonna do a very quick introductions of ourselves at the beginning. Then we're gonna move on to talking about language coaching, and Rachel gonna talk about neurolanguage coaching, which is kind of a very exciting topic. A lot of people already asked me, "Hey James, what is neurolanguage coaching?" Right? So Richard gonna explain that to you, how they're gonna help you with your coaching business. At the end, we're also gonna talk about go to the next level. Okay, we talk about language coaching. So what's the next level? Next level being having a successful language coaching business, which gonna need to make it work. And both me and Rachel are gonna share some insights on that. Being entrepreneur, being through this journey ourselves, what things you guys need to know. At the end, we have some really good prizes, success, surprises for you guys as well. Please stay to the end so we can share with you on that. Okay. Yeah. So let me get started first. My name is James Liu. So I've been helping teachers and teacher entrepreneurs for the past 4 years. So for myself, actually I'm originally from China. So right now I'm living in the U.S., Boston in specific. I've been here for over 15 years now. So I think my overlap with the teachers or ESL teachers, language teachers, is being myself is ESL student myself. So I've been learning English myself for the I think as long as I can remember since middle school, I guess. So especially after I moved to the US, I guess my language got challenged a lot. I couldn't understand people, and people couldn't understand me when I first got here. And I had some posts about it previously. If you guys remember, people can't really understand me. I feel really embarrassed, and I feel like okay, I don't want English to be the block from for me from being more successful in the US. That's why I invested a lot. I worked with many teachers offline, online in the past 10 years, 15 years. And in 2018, so I was working with the two of my teachers online. They were kind of very sad about the market. The price went down. They are losing students, and because it's getting more competitive. And at that time, I was management consultant, and I work with corporates about marketing, pricing, sales. I was like, I can probably help you. I kind of all volunteer to help them, and then for whatever we try, it worked. They increase their price, they get more students, and then my teacher actually encouraged me, "Hey James, you know how many teachers suffering out there just don't know anything about marketing, anything about business." So that was kind of one of the inspirations for me to start a business in January 2019. So it's been 4 years. We helped over, not over yet, it's kind of close to 4,000 teachers through digital courses, through group sessions, one-on-one coaching, and we're growing at this point as well. And we have built a big network on Facebook, LinkedIn, and many of you guys are here today. Great to see you. Yeah, I think that's kind of part of my story, how I got into this and start a business. And now let's listen to Rachel's. Hey, Rachel.
James, fascinating story from your side. And honestly, I think so many teachers out there are going to be very grateful to you for that sort of idea of wanting to help. And I totally agree with you. You know, teachers, language teachers in particular, are extremely undervalued. Extreme experts in their profession, and yet not being valued and rewarded for the beautiful and amazing work that they do. So amazing that you're doing that. So I think I'd like to go back to the year 2000. Well, maybe I'd like to go back to when I was 17 years old. When I was 17, I actually moved to Spain. And one of my first jobs was teaching English. So I started teaching English and came into languages from a very young age. And language and teaching has been in the background throughout my life. And in the year 2000, I was in Germany to do a master's degree. And at the same time as studying, I was also working for a language school, a business language school. And the gentleman there, called Jim Hardy, was the first person in the year 2000 to talk to me about language coaching. This is now 23 years ago. And that was my first introduction. And he wanted me to be a language coach and a language teacher. And it was very difficult for me to understand 23 years ago, how do I make a difference? How do I do that? I had to have a language coach hat. And he just said to me, follow the client. That's language coaching. And I had to work it out. You know, it was like, wow, I need to make sure that it's different. And my difference in those days, the primitive language coach that I was to go by the book with the teaching and to not have a book and to go with the client and to follow what the client wanted as a coach. Now, the problem with that, you know, through those years, in the year 2004, 2005, I then was back in Germany. I was working a few years more with Jim. And then I was on my own. I was a freelancer. And I was still doing language coaching and always getting the question of, well, what is it? And in 2008, I actually set up my own school. And running my own language school in Germany for those first years, 2008 to 2012, I actually had a team of 12 language trainers with me in 2012 when we were at the peak. And I was battling with HR, learning and development, with this concept of language coaching. And it was one particular meeting with an HR director, learning and development director, who absolutely smashed into me and said, you know, this is not a concept. This is just glorified language teaching. And I promise, I sat in the car after that meeting, crying my eyes out with my secretary, both of us in the car crying. And that's when I said, right, this is going to become a concept. It's going to be crystallized. And I'm going to demonstrate to this human resource director that this is different. And that's when in 2012, I sat down, created the course, created the whole concept of language coaching, neurolanguage coaching. I mean, it was one of the first in the world to be crystallized as a concept. And that's how neurolanguage coaching really, really developed. And we've been rolling now. This is, we're in the 10th year that we are with this concept, working with this concept, with the amazing neurolanguage coaches that are out there supporting us with this concept. And yes, it is a fully crystallized approach and method that's now out there in the world.
That's amazing. Rachel, I think nothing is better than creating a thing that's actually making impact, right?
That's
So
right.
yeah,
That's right.
and that's how I heard about neurolanguage coaching. And we actually have clients, they enrolled in your program, and then they're doing better with their business. And I follow up with them, hey, what changed? What's different now? And they of course, there's a lot of good things about the program. I think one of the things they mentioned, which is very important to me, is that they feel more confident in their business, in their coaching, because they are seeing tangible like results, tangible improvements from their students, which is good. We're gonna talk about neuro language coaching in a few minutes, but now, guys, if you have questions, right? Please leave it in the chats already. And if you haven't introduced yourself, please introduce yourself. I think this is not just a webinar for you to listen to me or Rachel. It's a place for you to network. Think about all these language coaches, language teachers. They want to learn the same thing. They want to be a better language coach. Where else can be a better place than you to network with them, right? Rather than this one. And if you have enjoyed the webinar so far, don't forget to click on the like, help us promote this live session on the social media platform, so more and more language coaches can see us and can benefit from the webinar as well. Thank you very much from that. We get a lot of people already commenting. If you have questions, we get definitely gonna get back to you. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the first topic. So what is language coaching? I think it's kind of a very simple question. A lot of people, yeah, I know, I'm a language coach, I'm a language teacher. I already, of course, I know what is language coach. What is language coaching, right? So I'm not a language coach. I'm not a teacher at all. But I will kind of share my understanding about it first, and then I will pass it to Rachel, and Rachel gonna explain how she sees language coaching. So for me, I was kind of I didn't know any differences between teacher, coach. When I first started the business, they're the same, right? And then the more I work with teachers, the more we talk about coaching, teaching, because I see myself as a business coach. I'm not a business teacher, right? So I'm a business coach. So then it's a little bit different now to me. I feel like teacher, I mean, by no means it's not good, right? Just the way I feel like teachers have a responsibility of teaching, delivering, helping students. But coach is more than that. To me, the coach, they do what teachers do, which is deliver their teaching, their services to the students. But also as a coach, they also manage their students' mindsets, skills. They don't only looking at the subject or whatever I'm teaching you grammar, I'm teaching you vocabulary. If I'm a language coach, I help you grow. I help you overcome your challenges. I help you get the results you want. You want to go abroad to study, you want to get promoted, you want to get to another company, global company. I'm a coach, I'm gonna help you get there, right? So that's how I feel about coach and teacher, the differences between them. That's why we mention a lot more now. Hey, develop a coaching mindset, being a coach. And that's why I was so looking forward to this webinar with Rachel, because Rachel is going to help me understand even more what does a coach mean to you and to a business. Now I'm going to turn it to Rachel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm here to listen to and learn.
Well, first thing, I'm not going to correct anything that you've said, and I think this is a delicate topic now. If we look at sort of the trajectory of coaching through the years, maybe we need to go back to the original term coming from the Hungarian, which means a form of transport, getting somebody from A to B, and that's the feeling of coaching, getting somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
Secondly, we go to 15th, 16th century, where actually in England, we saw the word coach used for a private tutor. So it was a teacher, let's say. I personally think that the sports world hijacked the word coach.
Yeah.
And when you say coach, everybody thinks about the baseball coach. You're over in the US, we have this image of the baseball coach with the cap and kind of like, come on, or the football coach earning millions. And that's the concept that we all go to when we think about coaching.
Yeah.
The problem with that, and here is where I have a little bit of a sort of a sticking point, because that type of coach can be very directive. Come on, do it again. Come on, go run around the pitch. Come on, do your best. And for me, that's a part of the coaching that is not part of that professional business coaching. Now, in the 1970s, the professional business coaching started with life coaching in the US. The wave went over to the UK in the noughties. And then we kind of have now the trend of coaching all over the world. There's sometimes a negative connotation with coaching because everybody sees it like a default profession that people come into. And I think, we have to be very, very careful, because today, anybody, anywhere can call themselves a coach. And I have great respect for that. And anybody, anywhere can call themselves a language coach. It's a generic term. It's a generic definition, and everybody is entitled to use that term. Now, the question is, what about professional training relating to coaching? And this is where, right from the beginning, James, I was very clear. And right from the beginning in 2012, that's when I went for accreditation. And we've been with accreditation for 10 years now, because for me, it was the only way forward. I could see that, this was going to be a trend, and it is. It's like, okay, I can say I do NLP, but can I say I'm an NLP practitioner? And this is the difference, if you have a term that's generic, anybody can use it. But when you come into more specifics, that's where, how do you make the difference?
Yeah.
How do you make the difference between a person who calls themselves a language coach, which anybody can, and a person who actually has professional coaching skills training in the background? So what is language coaching? Well, I'm just going to give you my sort of take on it, because there are many other definitions out there, and I respect them all, whatever they are. It's about using coaching as a vehicle to learn, improve, or enhance a language. Whatever that may be, whether it's relating to the language, the linguistics, the blocks, the emotions, the encouragement, it's using coaching as that spirit and vehicle to improve, enhance, learn a language.
Yeah, I like that. It's concise and also flexible. How important to put it, yes.
Absolutely, yes,
It's good.
yes.
It's good. And also good to know that, yeah.
But then we move, that's the generic standpoint.
Yes.
Now, from the beginning, I also wanted to make something that was slightly different, and that's neurolanguage coaching.
Yeah.
Now, we are using the coaching as the vehicle, but we're also using the neuroscience, the neuropsychology to really understand how to make the process brain-friendly and how to adapt it to how we learn. And I think that's something so important as well. Nowadays, we need to understand ourselves more. How I wish, and I was speaking, I had a beautiful conversation with a young lady, 18-year-old, I think she was 18 today, in the US. And she was saying to me, Rachel, you were talking about managing your brain, and there was something that you said about how you wished that you could have done this when you were younger. And yes, Yes, and now if we can help people to understand, and I don't mean to be a neuroscientist coming in and saying this is the scientific, no, how to manage ourselves, how to understand how do I learn, what works for me, because everybody's different, how to respect neurodiversity, how to say, well, okay, James, if you learn that way, fine. Great. And now we're coming into an era where we as educators are going to be adapting to the learners and not forcing and making the learners adapt to the box.
Yes.
We don't fit in the boxes anymore.
Yes.
And we need to understand, okay, where does my learner fit in? What does my learner need? Even if we're with a group, how can we adapt to the group?
Absolutely.
So neurolanguage coaching, definitely, it is bringing in the science-based research on how we learn, how we function, how we react in the learning process, how we connect in the scaffolding and the connections of language and linguistic capacity that we can take on, and using professional coaching skills, professional coaching conversations to support that learning process all the way through, even if it's delivering grammar, doing it through brain-friendly coaching conversations.
Yeah.
And it's unique. We are unique in what we do.
It's great. That's great. I like that. I like that from a marketing perspective and also business perspective. Right, you'll have a good positioning, and I think the neurolanguage coaching, I kind of understand. I read about it before. Now I understand it more now. So I guess a lot of people who are watching right now probably this could be the first time for them to even come across this concept. So can you, Rachel, is that possible to make one probably example of how neurolanguage coach, how they actually work with the students, which is different from a regular teacher or regular coach when they work with the students, when they follow neurolanguage coaching methods, so that we can make it more tangible for this audience? Is that okay with you? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do want to say, Todd, yes, mindfulness, metacognition, I love it. Yes. By the way, I am watching all of your comments, and thank you. I love it. See, my brain is multitasking here, and it's fantastic. So do keep coming in with that.
Yes.
I have seen a few questions coming in. If you can, if we don't connect in with your question on the way, repeat them for us later so that we can come back into them.
Please.
So, if you're working with a neurolanguage coach, firstly, we would have a diagnostic session. We would have the first session with the client, with the coachee. And in that session, we really are looking at what we call the 3 M's: motivation, mechanical goals, mastery goals. So we separate the language learning process into a mechanical focus on the one side and a mastery, which is functional language focus, on the other side. And in that first session, we find out, we discover that learner's roadmap. And from there, we then go into the sessions, working with the coachee in those sessions on those goals, very, very clear, very broken down so that it's brain friendly. Plus, the way that we do it, we're not directive. When we are transferring knowledge, we're doing it in a very special way, so the brain is calm, and we address issues along the way. So along the way, we may share how the brain functions. We may share about neuroplasticity. We may share, maybe we need to go into how they learn, learning activities or what they want to do and how they want to do it. Maybe we hear a sign of an emotional block or something, and we go in and have a coaching conversation. So all the way through, it's almost like there's a sensitivity and a depth to neurolanguage coaching, which I would say is achieved through this training. And maybe it's going deeper than you would as a normal teacher. And as a normal teacher, sometimes we don't dare to come into these conversations because we don't know how to handle it. And as a coach, we know how to handle these conversations because we know we're not psychologists, we're not there to be mentors or consultants. We're really there to be the coach. And coach means not telling people what to do, not giving the answers, but trying to get them to find their pathway through. So that would be working with a neurolanguage coach. And in the grammar side, we never use the books. We really move away from books. We go into co-creation of materials. And with the grammar, we go into this interactive conversation and discovery and joy of getting the brain to pattern and connect. And if we can get them into similarities of languages, and where is it similar, where is it different, it really is coming into that curiosity and joy of language learning. It's one of the most beautiful things on earth to be able to speak different languages.
Yeah.
And may I say, James, that one of the strengths with neurolanguage coaches, most of them, and I would even say 95% of them, have learned languages. And I mean learning a language, sitting and learning it, not bilingual from birth, learning languages. And many of them, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've got polyglots that understand the pain, the joy, like you've experienced, and that's when you come into that joy of language learning and you're seeing people having insights and connecting and speaking and overcoming that shame and embarrassment and fear that we've all gone through.
Yeah.
That's the language coach and the specialized accredited language coach.
Thank you for sharing that. Rachel, we have a lot of very good comments to kind of prove that what you said. Some of your clients, I guess, they commented mentioning that's kind of the results they're getting, and they feel really good about neurolanguage coaching. I think you mentioned a lot of things about the benefits from a coach side, how they're gonna find much easier, much enjoyable, right, when they follow that method. I think I can comment a little bit on from the student side, right? So I can share this. When the first time, I guess I started learning English when I was, let me think about it, when I was 12 years old, I think. I started late. Right now in China, most people start much earlier. But when I was in middle school, we started to learn English, and then by the time I got here in the US, when I was 22, 23, so I've already learned English for 10 years. And in that 10 years, I scored always the highest in my class when it comes to exams. All right, I'm really good at the writing, the paper English, right? And that's one of the reasons I passed TOEFL, GRE. I got here in the US for my graduate study. But the thing is, I got embarrassed. I felt so bad. The first day when I got here, I was outside of the student center. I was waiting for to get in and register, for my student status there. And the people just came to me. They're very nice, try to have a chat. They see a foreigner, they just wanted to welcome you. And then I got really embarrassed because I couldn't even have the conversation with them. They were asking me questions. I was like, pardon? I was like asking them to repeat, and I responded. They were like, oh, did you mean that? So it's a failure. It's complete failure in terms of learning language. And I wish we could have something like what you described in China, with all the students, so we don't suffer. Think about the nights, the days, the hours I spent on practicing my English, and not being able to use it when I need it. So I guess this help both sides. Your students seeing better results. You're more confidence in their English. They are making progress, and you as a coach, right, seeing your impacts and enjoy doing it. It's a win-win. It's really a win-win for both sides.
Absolutely. I call it the fireball effect. You know, when you've got a learner who's motivated, it motivates us. And it's like that motor, you know, I want you to succeed. I want you to, you know, blossom with this. And absolutely, you've got that fireball. And may I say, James, that actually now we do have a teacher trainer for China. So yes, we're going to be getting our teacher trainers. We've got the teacher trainers from Brazil is here with us as well, Bob, Virginia. We're now starting to deliver this in 12 different languages. We have 32 teacher trainers all across the world going to come into these languages. And hopefully, we are going to be able to totally transform the dynamic of language learning also in schools. Yes. So that no child, no teenager, no young adult, or even older adults like me has to go through those emotions of, you know, you and I have gone through it, me as a language learner as well. Horrendous.
Absolutely. Rachel, that's great. And I wish to see more and more neuro language coaches out there and help people like me. Awesome. So guys, if you have questions, I see a lot of positive feedback there and also comments on your language coaching. I think what Rachel has shared so far makes a lot of sense to you guys. Please leave your question there if you have, and also share your experience about language coaching, teaching, and with us. And don't hesitate to share and what you think about language coaching. What do you think about neuro language coaching? Share with us. So now we're gonna quickly move on to the next stage. So we have talked a lot about language coaching, neuro language coaching, and I think it doesn't matter if you are teaching, coaching, you're doing neuro language coaching. The goal is to improve your coaching skills, improve your student results, because that's the foundation of anything. If you're a coach, if you cannot get your student results, you're not a good coach. You can't do this anymore, right? If you have a coaching business, if your students are not getting the best results, your business is going to fail. So that's why we start with that. But in order to succeed in your coaching business, in your language coaching business, you need more. And this is what we're going to talk about next. So besides coaching skills, what else you're going to need? So I'm going to start first. And we've been working with the coaches, language coaches, teachers for the past 4 years. A couple of things I think that are very important for coaches out there to kind of understand and learn and develop. And then Rachel can comment on that as well. So as a language coach, as a teacher, entrepreneur yourself, right? A lot of insights you can share later on. So for me, I always talk about 3 pillars to a successful teaching business, coaching business. One is teaching itself, the coaching, teaching itself, right? The other one is marketing, and the third one is sales, right? These are the 3 pillars. You have to do all of them. You have to be good at all of them in order to have a successful business. So when it comes to marketing, a lot of people get overwhelmed. What you need to do, because a lot of people are going to tell you different things. You should do this, you should do that, you should do that, right? Very overwhelming. And to us, it's not about what you need to do. It's about what you need to do first. You guys have to remember that what you need to do first, and then second is the roadmap you follow. Everything people are saying, webinars, funnels, workshops, webs, everything going to help you with your business. It's really about what you need to do first. Get it done, so then move on to the next, right? So marketing can be overwhelming, but you need a very clear structure, clear staff to follow. And then next part is sales. That's a big challenge for a lot of teachers, coaches. If they never sell anything, they feel bad about selling things. I think it's really about mindset. And mindset is more than anything when it comes to sales. So how you see it. For example, if I don't promote my business, how can we help almost 4,000 teachers out there? If Rachel just kept everything to herself and don't really work on promoting, selling this idea to others, how can Rachel change the world? So you can't, right? It's really about a mindset. You have a lot to offer. You know you can change that person's life, the student in front of you. You know if this person works with you, you're gonna change his or her life, and you just can't sell, right? So you have to change the mindset. These are three things I think very important for all the teachers, coaches to master, right? One is teaching, and we talked about that already, and the marketing and sales. So one more thing, actually, we don't talk about it a lot when we speak to teachers, first, but it will come to us more and more. And I actually already mentioned it. It's a mindset. So how you think about yourself, think of your business. So many challenges when it comes to mindset. I can give you a whole list of things you need to work on, but every single mindset, the way I look at it, I had a lot of mindset issues myself, but whenever I overcome one, or whenever I decide to work on one, I see myself grow. I think that's the reason I'm not afraid of challenges anymore. I'm not afraid of these mindset blocks anymore, because whenever I see one, I'm excited. Feel like, oh, I can grow more now, right? So that's a mindset. A lot of people, please comment. Does it make sense to you guys? The marketing, sales, and mindset, and the coaching. So these are all very important components to a successful coaching business, from my understanding. Now I'll pass it to Rachel. Anything to comment, share as a successful entrepreneur yourself?
First thing I want to say that, I do think as teachers, trainers, educators, coaches, whoever we are, we're not born salespeople at all. And I don't know how many of you agree with me. I actually hate sales and marketing too. So I confess, absolutely don't. We're not trained as sales marketeers and all of that. So, when I started my journey in this in 2012, sales and marketing were difficult for me, extremely difficult. And in those first years, I was very much struggling for how do I get this out there? It was me, myself alone. And then little by little, more and more people were doing the course, more and more people doing the course. So for me as well, it was a trial and error for many, many years with sales and marketing. And even making mistakes where people were attacking me for putting webinars where I shouldn't put webinar adverts, and that was hilarious that people were attacking me when I didn't. And sometimes I had people doing it for me, so I didn't even know that they were being put somewhere where people were then attacking me for it. So it's a very delicate topic. That's one of the reasons that I try, and we try in the neurolanguage coaching world, to help our community, and our community is growing. We have about 1,300 neurolanguage coaches worldwide, and I know that many, many, many are struggling with sales and marketing, and for this reason we're trying to see how can we help, what can we do. And by the way, we do have an in-house marketing webinar on Friday, and I know you're going to be there, and we'll talk about it later. But as an entrepreneur, I think we also have to understand that we're changing, or the world around us is changing. We are changing the world of language, and the world of language is also changing. And now, it's not about going to a language school and being a freelance, and which I also was in the year 2000 when I was working with Jim. And as a freelance, I was happy as Larry, because Jim had all the business stuff and I was just going and doing my stuff and getting paid. And I was a happy chappy, as we say. Post-pandemic, we're now living in a world where everybody is online. The world is everybody's oyster. Everybody is doing sales and marketing, or trying to. And it's a quagmire. It's a marsh for people who don't understand how to do this. And as a teacher, coach, individual, whatever you are as an educator nowadays, if you are not with a school, you are a micro entrepreneur. And a micro entrepreneur has to do everything. You are acquiring business, delivering business, administering all the, let's say, the administration behind it. You're doing the finance. You're trying to keep yourself afloat. You're surviving. You're creating materials. You are everything. And this is one of the major problems for many, many people. How on earth can I do all of this as a one-man band?
Yeah.
So, James, I hope you've got the answer.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we do. So it comes with all the pieces we have mentioned today.
Yeah.
If you, as what you said there, right, Rachel, if you're not working for schools, you're not working for companies, you want to be independent, you're a macro entrepreneur, and just inevitable, you have to think about marketing, sales, because if you don't, somebody will do, and they're gonna beat you, and you won't survive from doing this, right? And it's not that hard at all either. A lot of pieces, if you're overwhelmed, you have to fix this, fix that, but don't be a perfectionist. You're gonna fix everything, but you don't have to be perfect at anything before you can move on to the next part, right? So you have a problem with coaching, work on it. You have problem with marketing, work on it, but don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna become the best marketer. I need to be really good at marketing. It's not. Get started, get going, right? So these are the sequence. So now, if you guys have more questions, right, we're gonna definitely get back to you guys. If you, as Rachel mentioned, if you ask a question very early on, don't hesitate to ask again. We'll definitely get back to you. And we do have 2 offers today, one from me, one from Rachel, to help you guys. If you feel like something we said today resonated with you, something you feel like, okay, James and Rachel, they can really help me with my business, and you are committed to making this work. So from my side, I think the most popular program we have out there is called the 21-Day Teach Entrepreneur Challenge. I know a lot of you guys have done the 21 challenge from my community who are watching today. So it's a very condensed program that lasts 21 days. You're going to be working with me and my team on starting your business, basically starting and building a business. We talk about how to find your niche, how to structure a program, how to do marketing, how to do sales, how to work on mindset. So almost everything I talk about today is covered in the 21-Day Teach Entrepreneur Challenge. We've graduated over 3,000, maybe 3,500 teachers so far. We got almost 700 5-star reviews. A great program. And because of this collaboration with Rachel, we have a 35% discount with this link. So we have a affiliate link for Rachel. Everyone who joined the 21 challenge from her side got a 35% discount. So I'll share the link with you guys, but definitely a good program for you guys to check out. If you feel like I need to work on my marketing, work on my sales, work on my mindsets, and also start this business more seriously, this is a great program. And then Rachel has a big gift for everyone here too about her program. I just want to let her explain that.
Well, it really is offering the program at a 50% discount. And now normally we do have discounts for the program, but there are conditions of how to get the discounts, how to achieve them. But for your audience, James, for your network and anybody who is watching this who hasn't done the course, obviously many of you have done the course. I can see we've got quite a few coaches here, but for those of you who haven't done the course and you would like some more information, there is that 50% discount, knowing that you come from this link or from James' network. James, can I also add, somebody was mentioning, I can't remember the name now, it was on one of the comments earlier, one of the major questions as well is remaining professional.
Yeah.
All teachers are experts. Everybody has their expertise. The question here, and this is where I do think what we do as a neurolanguage coach is we have a USP, we have a unique selling point. And one of the major points for us is the feedback from our learners. How to get our learners to be learning quicker and more effectively and more efficiently. That is the heart and soul of everything that we do. And everything that we do is geared towards that. Mm-hmm. Now, I actually have to say that, some years ago, I had a great piece of advice with sales and marketing or with anything to do with your business. as a entrepreneur, which I've just seen Bob has said, an entrepreneur. I love it. Have you heard that before, James?
No.
Instead of an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, you are the accountant, the acquirer, the marketer, the salesperson, the deliverer of the professional service, etc. If there are things that you don't like in your business, who can help you? Who can help you to take that burden away?
Yeah.
And it might be somebody doing the accounts. It might be somebody doing the acquiring. It might be somebody doing the follow-ups. Just that little bit of respite from having to do everything. And believe me, everybody, I was doing everything for many, many years. And I've had 10 years of working many hours a day to keep the business going. And those early days were horrific for me in the length of time that I was working per day, per week, until I started to then build up a team around me. But it's not easy. It really is not easy. So fantastic that you're helping with this 21-day challenge for sales marketing.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes. If anyone tells you it's so easy to start a business, you can disconnect with this person or just different with this person. It's not easy.
It's not.
I never said it's easy to start a business, right? But luckily, you don't have to reinvent the wheels. You don't have to start from scratch. You find somebody to help you. It doesn't have to be me or Rachel to get you the successful business, but having somebody to help you it's a very smart decision because it's gonna save you tons of time, efforts, and most importantly, it prevents you from quitting, right? Yeah, people quit when it's too hard. People quit when it's too hard, and it's a not easy journey, but it's very enjoyable and rewarding, kind of journey to me at least, right? To me at least, getting your own business going, taking control of everything, right? Building teams, how exciting, right? Building teams, building structures, and also I think one thing I really like about you, Rachel, is you have a so big vision. You don't talk about, okay, let's get the Neurolanguage Coaching program out there, let people join. It's like, let's change the world, right? It's very entrepreneurial to me. So we don't limit ourselves to whatever we're doing right now. We have a big vision. And do you guys have a big vision? What's your big vision, right? If your big vision just, okay, I want to get 20 clients, trust me, it's not gonna be easy for you to get 20 clients. But if your big vision is, I need to build something I'm proud of, I need to have my legacy when I leave this world, right? You will make this work. You're gonna get 20, 200, 2,000, 20,000 clients.
Yeah.
And yes, you have the vision, you have the commitment. That's what I want to tell you guys, right?
And James, I want to say, for me, it's not about leaving a legacy. For me, it's about going from this world knowing that the world is a better place for those behind me. Goodness, because at the moment, I think we've all got our head in our hands and we're all going, oh my God. And I know you've got little kiddies. Yes. And I really sincerely hope that we can depart from this plane onto a different plane, knowing that the kids behind us are going to have a more beautiful, or I don't know, that's the vision that we want from this. It's nothing to do with me leaving anything behind. It really is that creation of a new way forward to get us out of this mess that we're in at the moment. I also want to say, the community of neurolanguage coaches that we have are phenomenal, in the sense that all of them have this heartfelt vision as well. But they don't only have the vision, they live it. They walk the talk. And for me, it is about walking the talk. It's not about just rhetoric and this is what you do, and this is a language coach, and this is this. It's about being it every single moment of the day. Yeah. It's about living the neuroscience, the neuropsychology, the coaching approach, the brain-friendly, and even transcending that into our everyday lives with our friends, family, people around us. That's the neurolanguage coach of today.
That's good. That's good.
Definitely.
Live the present. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's answer some questions, Rachel.
Yes.
We do have some questions, and if you haven't got the links, I try to share the links to all the platforms we're broadcasting right now. If you don't have the links, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, reach out to Rachel or myself. Get the links, get a discount. This is a great offer. 50%, that's very generous, and 35% for the 21 challenge is great. It's cheap. 21 challenge only like $197, and then 35% discount is going to be $127. So it's a very low investment for you guys to get started, and 50% off to join Rachel's program. That's very generous. So reach out to us. And someone said 21 challenge plus Neurolanguage Coaching. What an upgrade. Educator.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Laura, te tenemos que comprar un café para eso. We're going to connect. Laura and I live very close to each other, actually. So
okay, it's good. Yeah, Laura has been working with us for a while as well. That's great. That's great, guys.
Any questions?
Very soon we entrepreneur.
Love it.
Yeah, love it. All right, so guys, any questions? I'm trying to screen up and trying to find your questions. If I miss your question, let me know. Let us know, guys. Let me see.
Yes, there is one there, a LinkedIn user. I can't see your name there, so apologies if I don't address your name. Where can we watch an example of a coaching session? Well, actually on YouTube, there are a couple of my videos where you see me with some clients, just snapshots. We did have a full session, and that now is coming in. If you send us an email, we will be able to give you that sort of link to our demo sessions. So yes, there are some example sessions out there. And as I say, those LinkedIn videos are from, I think, 2015-16, when we first, when I was doing some publicity about it. So yes, do have a look at that with pleasure. Lots of videos on YouTube, Vimeo as well. We've got lots of talks on there about it. So quite a lot. 10 years of material actually out there. Sophia, how long does the 50% discount last? Well, if you are connected to James in any way, honestly, it's not going to have a limit on it. So James and I think we've got the vision of helping all of you as much as we can for as long as we can. So Sophia.
So I guess I would say we're trying our best to help our audiences, and 50% discount, that's very generous from Rachel, but I don't expect Rachel to offer 50% off for the rest of our collaboration. So I would say we're definitely going to offer discounts and to our audience, but I don't know. I cannot guarantee that 50% going to last forever. So yes, no. If something interests you, definitely reach out. Just check it out, and Rachel, someone on Rachel's team can explain, tell you what it is. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to take action, to look into it, right? Look into it. There's another question about the neurolanguage course from a Facebook user. Can this course be done online independently, or it says time and days?
You know what? To be a coach, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to live it, walk it, talk it, breathe it. And that's the reason why it is very much an experiential course. You can't do it asynchronously. You have to be there. You have to interact. You have to practice. It's like learning to drive a car. You have to do it and do it and do it. So there are set times and days for the courses, definitely. We also encourage people to connect with each other and practice, and with your learners, practice. It really is a learning by doing course. And I'm going to say it's a brain-friendly course, because I don't get you reading hours and hours of things. I don't get you sort of going into that study mode with theory. I get you to practically implement it. Definitely.
Yeah, I like your answer very much, Rachel. So there's no compromise. it's like okay, I want to get more people into my program, then let's have a version that you can just do it on your own. But
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, it doesn't get you results, it's gonna hurt your brand, right? So as you said, in order to make it work, you have to be there, period. That's it. You have to be there. No excuse. If you want to make it work, again, the commitment, right? Are you committed to this? Are you gonna make it work? So everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm busy. I have other commitments." So it's not about how many commitments you have. It's about the priority, which one you want to commit first, right? So I like your answer very much there. And a couple of very good testimonial here already from Laura. Is definitely transformational training. This is about the Neurolanguage Coaching program, and somebody said it's the best investment ever as well. It's good. Just doesn't hurt to check it out, guys. Okay, I'm just
Question there for,
you see another question, Rachel?
yes. How long does the Neurolanguage Coach course last? Eddie, we carry the accreditation, we carry a CPD, Continuous Professional Development, from the UK Standards Office, and the course is 36 hours. And we spread that over about 4 to 5 weeks. And obviously there's a lot of practice, a lot of interaction, we get you doing it. So the course itself is 36 hours, definitely. And that's the accreditation, the 36 accredited hours that you get for it. We encourage the more that you practice between sessions, obviously the more it's going to get normalized and you're going to be able to do it more and more, exactly like driving a car. You can't become a coach from one night to the next. Impossible. It does take that transformation, that time, but it really happens from the course. You see people come into the first session, and by the time we get to the end of the course, wow. And I think some of my coaches will totally agree with me there. In the chat box, let me know if you felt that transformation over those 36 hours, those 5-6 weeks. Yes.
Nice.
And C. Keeney is asking, where does it take place? We do a lot of the courses online, but now post-pandemic, we're starting to come back into face-to-face. We've got one in London in December. We've got one in Paris in January or February, I believe. We might have one, I think next year we've got one coming up in South Africa. I think we've got one coming up in Italy face-to-face. And you'll see that next year we're going to start to come into this face-to-face much, much more, which is what we were doing pre-pandemic. And it's beautiful to connect with people again.
Yeah, can you believe, Rachel, can you believe that I've never done any face-to-face coaching, or I never done any working with anyone face-to-face?
We're going to have to bring you over.
I'm going to be very nervous, to be honest. I think,
Yep.
I can see why that can be more effective, and I guess I will enjoy that very much. Having somebody next to you, right, talking to them and working with them, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Information from the coaches there talking about their transformation. Somebody is asking what the cost will be with the 50%. So just to say that the total cost of the course, the let's say without the discount, is $2,300. And believe me, for a professional coaching course, that is a good price. But with 50% discount, then it becomes $1,150. I know that teachers can't afford high prices, and we also accept installments, we accept facilities. And just to share with everybody, when I did my coaching qualifications 15 years ago, I paid nearly, and I did a lot of coaching courses, I paid nearly £10,000 for my coaching training. I had to take out a loan to do my coaching training. And this is what people don't really understand, that, it is an expensive training.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Expensive.
Right, that's right. And I think I invested, and so far in the past 4 years, more than the investment you mentioned, for the business. It's just like, it's a different mindset investment, right? Invest in your growth, in your business, then you can get a return of a better version of yourself, return of a better business. And you can figure out everything yourself, but what the time cost and the other costs related. Yeah, that's a good mindset as well. So it's and that's why I'm keep saying 50%. It's a very generous offer. That's very generous.
I know. And by the way, just to clarify, that's in euros, everybody. It's not rands, it's not pounds, it's not dollars, it's euros.
Yeah, euros.
So, yes, absolutely. Marcella, you're asking how we can apply it in a common classroom. We have a lot of our trainers doing that. We actually have a study going on at the moment with neurolanguage coaching with little kiddies in a classroom. That study should be coming out next February, March. I'm excited to hear about that. And Marcella, you are a neurolanguage coach, so you know a lot of those techniques, and you know, it's about you trying them out in those bigger groups and trying them out with the kiddies. And yes, absolutely, fully applicable in classrooms, adapted, but applicable, definitely. And I want to say thank you to all of the coaches that are here, because we've got some beautiful comments. Anne, Nora, Marcella, Ingrid, Bob. I could go on and on and on.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you, all of you, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for showing up and your support. That's great, and that's a great way to see the testimonials and the whole great work you've been doing, Rachel, to help these coaches. All right, guys, any last questions about what we talk about today, about the Neurolanguage Coaching program, about the 21-day challenge? Anything? Sorry, anything that we can help you before we finish this up?
There's another question there. So we've got a crazy language lover. I love crazy language lovers, because that means you're probably a polyglot. You're probably an expert in languages, and you've got a language brain, and I love it. We've got quite a few people who are polyglots, because for me, the most important thing is that you know how languages come together. You know about the code, the mechanics, the grammar, you know about the families, and wow, for me, it's language paradise when I've got somebody like that. And yes, we do have exceptions for polyglots. We do have exceptions for people who really want to bring that polyglot expertise to others. And I love, people that are crazy about language. We could be having long conversations. And believe me, 95% of the neurolanguage coaches are passionate about languages, polyglots, and helping them learn as they have learned. Absolutely. Yes. Alessandra wants to know if we're going to be organizing in Barcelona. Alessandra, possibly in Sitges. I was thinking maybe in January I might be organizing a face-to-face in Sitges. And that's where I normally do it. So, Alessandra, estamos al lado, somos vecinas, yo estoy en Tarragona, y sí, normalmente cuando hago el curso lo hago en Sitges. Y así tienes un pasito para ti, un pasito para mí, y nos encontramos en el medio. Sorry, just moved a little bit.
I got lost. Anyways, so someone here can speak Chinese. I can practice a little bit here. Anyways,
I am going to learn. I'm going to learn, James. Okay. One day I have a webinar and I'm going to surprise you. I promise you. That's yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you again, Rachel.
Can I just clarify?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The face-to-face does have a different price, because obviously we have to factor in the hotel costs, the catering costs, etc. But yes, once we factored the full price, we will be offering that discount for the face-to-face, definitely as well. But please bear in mind, it has a higher normal price because of the extra costs.
Yeah. It makes sense, right?
Of course.
Well, if you cover all the costs, right, hotel, hospitality, and of course it's going to be more expensive, but the experience is going to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Good, guys. I think the Neurolanguage Coaching program is so amazing. So many people talk about it. The 21 challenge is also great. The 21-day Teach Entrepreneur challenge is also great. It's also great. I guess a lot of people come to this session just want to find out the Neurolanguage Coaching, which makes sense. And I hope you get your answers. And again, there's no way Rachel can explain everything to you in just 30 minutes about the program. Check out her LinkedIn profile, YouTube channel, and the website to learn more, to see if this is a good fit to you, right? And if this is the first time you see me and my business, connect with me on LinkedIn. Someone already joined the 21 challenge. Someone already did it. It's great. Yeah, take action. Take action is more than anything. Don't just stay there. Try to brainstorming. Try to doing your research. Then it's not be 2024 in a year, right? So now is a better time to take action. Do it. Even if you make mistakes, at least you tried it. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. Thanks again, Rachel, for spending time. Yeah, one more thing. Yeah, please.
On Friday, we have a special marketing webinar for our neurolanguage coaches. So neurolanguage coaches on Friday, don't miss 4 o'clock. We have a workshop on marketing with James, with Sol Asina from Argentina as well, and with Gary and with me, just to see how we can also help you internally with this sort of challenge of sales and marketing that you're all having. So my apologies to the public that it's actually not a public webinar. It is a private one for the neurolanguage coaches. But definitely do connect with us. My website, www.neurohearteducation.com, and then that will take you into the neurolanguage coaching. And there you can get all the information, or send us an email, info@efficientlanguagecoaching.com, and we can send you all the information that you need. And James, grateful to you for reaching out to me, because you kind of connected with me about a month ago and said, "Hey, Rachel."
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's what we do. I'm here now for the business. I'm not here talking to you just want to grow my business. I think we have the same mission here to help the coaches, help the students, and change the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hold that, everybody.
Thank you, Rachel, for spending time with us and for being part of this great community. We have so many clients who have done both of our programs, and I think they're definitely more successful now with the help from us. And I hope everybody can get what they need and take action and do something about it, and reach your dream, right? Reach your dream, and in 2023. And that being said, thank you very much for joining this session with me and Rachel, and connect with us. And I hope to see you guys in the future.
Yes.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, James.
Bye. Rachel.
Bye.